Is there a little explanation on why Steve sounds so bad? Like, did he hurt his throat? Okay, so listen, here's the thing. Obviously, everyone already knows how bad Steve's voice is. We already heard it once. And I was genuinely trying to think of some jokes that maybe I could make about his voice. Here's what I decided. I decided that it just makes more sense for me to not acknowledge it. So we're just gonna play this trailer and we're not going to acknowledge Steve's voice at all. Okay, guys? Okay? Does that sound okay to you? I'm going to play the video now. I don't want to hear anyone talking about Steve's voice. And it's already ruined. It's okay, though. The people on YouTube can't see the chat, so they don't know what's happening in the chat right now. Silence. Silence. We won't talk about it.
Get ready for the next battle. Tekken 8.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to pause it, but I gotta talk a little bit of shit. This might be the worst one yet. Counter punching Paragon. Sorry, that caught me off guard.
New challenger.
Okay, we're off to a great start. We're off to a great start. Okay. Ooh. That was a neat use of the downfall 1+2. Okay, sure. He has a new stance, and was that something new out of Sway as well? It looked like the Sway was faster, right? That looked like a new animation. That was neat.
When it comes to who talks the most, you definitely win.
Okay, back one still exists. That's neat. Okay, back two. Okay, this is hard. Oh wow, that was a new grab out of Peekaboo. That was cool. It's 1+2 grabs different. They've really retouched a lot of his animations.
That's a knockout. Good night. These are the fists of a champion.
Seth, don't say anything. Just. Okay, we're going to go back through the trailer. Just don't. This is very difficult. Don't acknowledge it. Everyone else already has. You can't add anything. Just don't say. Leave it for the thumbnail. Leave it for the thumbnail. You can do it in the thumbnail. You don't. Just calm down. This is very difficult. Oh my god, the chat. It's making it more difficult looking at my chat. Oh my god. The Wii Sports style knockout voice slot.
That's a knockout.
Subscribe and like YouTube, or me, literally Kazi, will come and beat your ass. Yeah, subscribe. Only 1% of you are subscribed. Subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Do it. It's at like, I don't know, 100 subscribers or something. Make it 200. Do it. I know how many of you watch these. And I know that you're following the algorithm and you're not subscribed. I know, because I do it too. I'm a hypocritical asshole. But hit the button. Okay. Let's everyone calm down. I need to make this as short as possible so I can edit it in the least amount of time as possible, because I couldn't give a fuck about this character. Okay, so what, this was down forward too, but reanimated, right? No, it wasn't. I mean, it kind of does, but it also kind of doesn't. It's like It's like Armor King's down forward too, right? Okay. So back to neutral. And then this is a counter hit move.
Let's go.
No, because that was down forward too. Because I thought that was just reanimated, but it's just a different move. So he gets that on counter hit. And then instead of getting the full combo, he still gets the down forward 1+2 thing, but it doesn't like launch, which is weird because on one hand it's just removing that element of execution. On the other hand, it probably was something that wasn't intentional in the first place, and they decided to keep it in as like as a fun little thing. Getting rid of that execution requirement for Steve players that have learned to do that is still a bit weird. They could have incorporated it in some way. I just don't know why they didn't. Okay, so that's interesting. So instead of him having, I'm assuming that that backstep replaces the thing where he goes, right? That would make sense, because instead of him having that weird ass move that never really did anything, instead he actually has something practical that creates whiff punish opportunities, which is neat. And it seems that in general they've given him more stances, which is an interesting choice. It's not one that I would have expected. Yeah, so that puts him in flicker stance when he does that. And then this is a guard break. This is a new effect. It kind of reminds me of the guard break effect in Soul Calibur, mainly because of the sound. Does it also have a slowdown like in Soul Calibur? It does. It has the exact same camera zoom in and slowdown and sound like a guard break in Soul Calibur, which is interesting. So normally here, okay, so in Soul Calibur, if you don't know, guard breaks happen when you block moves too much. Your guard stamina will continuously degrade, and when your guard stamina gets to 100%, which is the opposite of how it sounds like it should be, if you're hit with a level 1 move or a lot of level 2 moves, like specific moves, it'll crush your guard. And when your guard is crushed, then in most instances you're left open to getting launched. There are some where you're not, but in most instances you are. What's interesting about this is that a lot of the guard crushes we've seen up until this point, unless they're just redoing the effect for guard crush with Steve specifically in his trailer, which would be kind of weird, is what we've seen is that a lot of the time they leave the character at like -12 or something. So what I'm wondering, because Steve is a boxer, is he going to have some sort of like guard crush gimmick / mechanic like what I just described with Soul Calibur? Or is it going to be like other characters that have guard breaks, but does the effect mean that he's going to be more plus than those other characters? And the reason I bring this up is because to me, it's weird for him to have a different effect on this and have it not be special in some way. Yeah, because you see here, he does that whole effect, but then gets 1-1-2. So, I don't know. I have no idea. It could just be a simple explanation of, oh, they changed the guard crush effect. Completely probable. It would just be kind of weird that they would throw it into the Steve trailer and make it look like something it's not. It's not like they haven't done that before, though. Or it could be a whole, like, some mechanic that Steve has. Don't know. Yeah, so I wonder then if that launcher is gone, because they had him do the whole blue spark thing, right? But he didn't do the normal, like, do that into the launcher. Considering where it is in the trailer, it's completely probable that they just did it to save on time so they can cut to the next thing. But if that launcher is gone now, that's a huge change. Okay, there's a lot to break down here already. So that's the what is it called? Ducking? And then the 2. And then this is sway, right? This is sway. I'm pretty sure. I mean, let's slow it. Yeah, let's slow it down here. So the 2. Yeah, see, this is sway. This is 4. He pressed 4 here, but it doesn't go as much into the foreground or background as before. Yeah, it's sway right 1-2. Yeah. Although I think the second hit after the shoulder is a new move. Because the move that he had before after the shoulder was like a -13 mid, and it wasn't homing. I think this is a new move. I might be wrong, because no one uses this shit, but I think this is a new move. But it's interesting that he doesn't have a lot of movement left or right when he does sway. And my guess is because they buffed movement in this game, they don't want to have a Tekken 5 situation where it has the infinite. So they just made it so that sway does nothing. But then they got rid of that thing where it goes. So maybe that's supposed to be the high crush move now is sway instead of it having this weird sidestep property. You know, because like the thing is with sway, in the games where it's good, it's obscene. Steve in Tekken 5, obviously. Pecto-san in Tekken Tag 2, if you remember. Because when he goes into Flamingo, he does a sway-esque movement, and if he does that and gets to the opponent's back, it's like a almost a TOD. Is that sway? It's called weave. Thank you. That's good. Thank you for allowing me to clarify that. I can't speak. Let's continue. Yeah, and then did he say Fang? I'm sorry, when he did Sonic Fang, did he say Fang? Like a fucking Brit Australian, whatever the hell he is? Isn't he Australian? Wait, isn't Steve Australian? Am I wrong? I thought Steve was Australian. Why does he have the pants? He said what a fucking loser. Oh my god, it's just like grow. Oh god, a storm is coming. Oh god. Okay, so normal back 1-2 punish. So this put him in a new stance, right? Oh my god, you know what this is? This is his taunt. You know the taunt where he like bangs his hands, where he like he crouches down and he bangs his hands together? That taunt? That's a stance now. That's neat. Yeah, this was a whole new sequence, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so that's just a new wall ender, I guess, to make it look, I suppose to make it look more dynamic than just doing Sonic Fang or whatever the hell you normally do with Steve at the wall, which is nice. I think it's a nice touch. It looks a hell of a lot better. Even if it's just something for flavor, I think these flavor things go a long way into making the character look more interesting. And even though, practically speaking, nothing changes here, it just makes him look better.
When it comes to who talks the most,
I think we need something like this as an emote. I think we need something like this as an emote, and then just over top of it. This is going to be an emote, I swear to God. I don't care if Harada finds me. Oh, good. I'm glad I decided to do this in Paint. There you go. That's the emote. Oh, God, help me. So he still has back 1 as counter hit launcher, which is kind of insane. I would have expected back 1-2 to be the counter hit launcher like king. Steve at this point is the only character really that has this, right? Yeah, and then this, like, what they could have done here with back 1 is make it so that getting the full launch requires the down 4 1+2, but here they're just like, nah, let's just make it easy and just have you do the dash in and then the 1. Seems weird to me, but whatever. Look deep in his grab and see where Steve's legs go. Okay, when we get there, I will try to remember. Was anything here actually? Yeah, there was nothing there that was really new, right? That was all pretty standard stuff. Oh, so back 2 gives you Fang guaranteed, huh? I hate that he says that. That is such a Grill thing, but at least Grill's voice acting was good. You can't have characters do stuff like this when you hire a voice actor off the street. Oh yeah, Loki wanted me to voice act Steve. No, I'm not going to do it. It's just not worth the effort. We all already know I can do a job that's 10 times better, and I cost 10 times less than whoever this guy was. Who hired this guy? No, save it for the thumbnail. I don't acknowledge it. Is this the new move from before? I think this was the new move. Oh, and it gives him that guarantee. Did that put him in stance there? Yeah, put him in the new stance. Maybe this stance isn't actually. Oh no, this stance isn't actually. I thought that it was the taunt thing from before, but now that we're seeing it from this angle, it's clearly not that. It's just a new stance, which is it's a missed opportunity for sure. Okay, so what was this heat thing that he did? Oh god. It just allowed him to go in the stance quickly, I guess? It sounded like he went in the stance. Yeah, he went into ducking super quickly. And then he did ducking too, and then the double duck. Oh, and he has a grab out of it. Was that a 2 grab or a 1+2 grab? It almost looked like at first you think it's a 1+2, but it almost looked like a 2. Is that a 2 grab? Yeah, that's a 2 grab. He has a grab mixed up out of this stance. Huh. Well, so they got rid of the launcher, but they exchanged it for giving him a grab game. Weird. Yeah, his legs look fine. So this is like a Ganryu thing then, right? I'm assuming. Except I'm also assuming that he doesn't get a full launcher out of the 1+2. Wait, was that a just frame? So the reason why this makes me think of a just frame is because 2B in Soul Calibur has a grab. It's her back turn grab, where it has a just frame on it. And if you hit the just frame, it has a effect kind of like this that boosts the damage of it and changes the animation. So what I'm getting at here is when it does the chunk thing, I feel like that's a just frame. Might be wrong. I'm going based off Soul Calibur, but yeah, okay. So, okay. This is saying with Steve. Steve's top tier. That's it. That's the saying. Every single game except you can say like Tekken 4 because Jin exists. Steve's top tier. That back one is insane. I'm just going to throw it out there. I think the back one is insane. I think the counter hits are insane. I think that the pokes are insane. This character looks busted as hell. But I do appreciate the fact that they, like with other characters, like I've said with Asuka, with Leroy, that they have characters where they're trying to go specifically down like a character quote unquote archetype route with some of them, where it makes sense for the character and it's just not something that they've really been bothered to do in Tekken, is make characters more archetype-y, like play to specific strengths. You know, because a lot of the time when characters in Tekken are strong, it's because they have some like weird specific tool or generic tools, and it's not because their move list is designed around a specific strength. And so Steve is the counter hit character, and he's the only character that is centered around counter hits in the same way that like Asuka is centered around parrying and defense, and well, Asuka's centered around defense and Leroy is centered around parrying. And I think that's cool. And I think that it makes a lot of sense for him to do that with Steve and to go down that route. And, you know, the interesting thing with Steve, too, is that he was one of, like, 2 or 3 characters in Tekken that truly felt unique. It's not like other characters in Tekken aren't unique, but it's more so that a lot of other fighting games have a lot of characters that fulfill specific roles and archetypes, and they feel distinct from one another. And in Tekken, it's a lot like Street Fighter, where Street Fighter has a lot of characters that have like Fireball, DP, Tatsu, some variation of the sort. Tekken has the down forward one, the low, the jab, right? The magic for those kind of tools, and a lot of characters have those. And Steve was one of the very few characters historically that has not been that and has been very distinct. Going into this, one thing that I was really wondering was how are they going to keep that when they're trying to make other characters more like Steve, more distinct from one another, and I think that they did a good job with it. They focused on the counter hit stuff, they gave him new tools, they repurposed a lot of the tools, and it makes Steve feel the same, but he also feels fresh. He feels new, and it feels like he fits into Tekken 8. And it doesn't feel like he's getting left behind because, oh, they already did what they're doing with the other characters in Tekken 8 with Steve, so they can kind of just leave it. So I appreciate that. But yeah, the character's fucking stupid, and I'm not going to play him. Anyway, bye!